Good evening, everyone. I do hope you are having a good day. I'd like to touch base with you as it relates to Relationships 101. And our topic for today is the five love languages. And this is not material that I have created at all. Um, it's actually information that is already available online, but I'm going to give you a brief overview. So, there's a book by Dr. Gary Chapman. You can get that on Amazon, and it's also available for free on YouTube. But it has a lot of useful insights. So I'm going to give you a brief overview, and you can by all means go ahead and listen to the book or purchase the book to read it at your leisure. Okay, so the definition of relationships, as we have explored in previous recordings, is the way in which two or more people or things are connected, or the state of being connected. And then a language is the method of human communication, either spoken or written, consistent of the use of words in a structured and conventional way. So that's the traditional meaning of language. But as it relates to love languages, this goes beyond just words that are being used in communication. But we'll go into that shortly. So before we carry on, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Feel free to share, like, provide your comments. If there are any topics that you'd like me to cover, leave them in your suggestions in the comment box, and I'll definitely have a look and we can take it from there. So the five love languages are physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, and quality time. So there are five. So physical touch, acts of service, receiving gifts, words of affirmation, and quality time. Those are the five love languages. So language usually refers to a method of communication. Commonly known languages are languages like English, French, Italian, Spanish. However, when it comes to relationships, you might find that although you may share a common language, for instance, French, you might share common language, but you might have very different love languages. So the five love languages were introduced by Dr. Gary Chapman, and it explores the method in which individuals prefer to receive love. Okay? So why should you learn about the love languages? I'll just give you some tips on that. It's important to learn love languages so that effective communication can take place. Once you are aware of what you need in a relationship, you can actually provide the relevant information to your partner. You can communicate it effectively and respectfully. A lot of times people are in relationships and they might be showing love to their partner, but yet their partner doesn't feel loved because they're not being loved in their preferred way. So it's important to actually learn the love languages so you can love your partner effectively. Learning and practicing the love languages leads to deeper intimacy in a relationship, because then when you're both speaking the love languages of each other, then you're operating from a full tank, a full love tank. Okay? And learning and practicing the love languages will, excuse me, will undoubtedly attract attention from your family, friends, and colleagues when they see that you love each other in a way that's special, and your connection is special because you actually have an understanding of each other and what your needs are in the relationship. This can then lead to you sharing the information that you've learned with others, and you might find out that you actually help their relationship. So building your relationship might help others with their relationship, because when they see the fruit that you produce in your relationship, they might think, actually, I'd like to have some of that in my relationship. And then you can share the tips that you've learned from practicing the love languages. Okay, so let's go on and explore the love languages. So this is just a very brief overview, but you'll get the idea as how it works. So the first love language I'm going to talk about is physical touch. So this love language, like the name suggests, is evidenced when the individual feels most loved when they make physical contact with the person with whom they are in love with. Examples of physical contact, I'm sure you're already aware, but I'll give you some examples. So hugs, kisses, holding hands, sitting close to each other, have them resting their head on your shoulder, things like that. So when they feel like your physical contact, they feel closest to you. So that's physical touch. Acts of service. So this love language is the second love language, and it is manifested when the partner provides assistance or kind gestures. This love language seeks partnership, so the other partner wants to know that by you showing them or providing these acts of service, they have a partner in you. So examples include maybe perhaps helping them with the dishes, maybe whilst you're cooking, taking out the trash, looking after the children, if you have any, cleaning doing the laundry. So just it's about the chores that need to be done in the house. So instead of leaving it all to one person, the other person feels loved when you actually help out around the house, and help lighten their workload. The next love language, the third one, is words of affirmation. This love language is evidenced when words of encouragement, support, and praise. So it has to be heartfelt, because people know when you're being phony or when you're just providing them with platitudes. So when you provide heartfelt words of encouragement, praise, and support, this person is affirmed and reminded of their value and that you actually appreciate the contribution that they make. So examples include saying thank you. It's really simple, but sometimes people don't say it. So saying thank you, expressing gratitude for an act of kindness provided, telling them how amazing they are at their work or endeavors. If they're a doctor or a nurse, a care worker, whatever it is, you could just let them know how good they are at what they do. So there's a words of affirmation. And the fourth love language is quality time. Again, it's the word explains it, but just expanding it a little bit. This love language involves time spent doing things that interest both parties, or it could just involve just talking, spending time in conversation, like meaningful conversation or not, or just sitting in each other's company. So examples, taking walks in the park, watching TV together, attending events together, lying on the couch together whilst reading, or just talking for hours or not, depending on the individuals in the relationship. And the fifth love language is receiving gifts. So this love language focuses on providing thoughtful gifts as proof of love. Examples include purchasing a special present whilst perhaps you're away on a trip, or purchasing a present that is linked or acts as a reminder to a special date or an anniversary, or just purchasing flowers or chocolates unexpectedly, just providing gifts unexpectedly, just to let them know that you were thinking of them. Okay, so those are the five love languages. That's a brief overview, but you get the gist of it. To get more information, go onto YouTube and you can listen to the audiobook for free. If you prefer hard copy books, by all means go onto Amazon and purchase the book, and you will not regret it because it's very valuable. It contains very valuable insights. So it's the five love languages by Dr. Gary Chapman. Okay, so action steps. So after having listened to this, what should you do? You could first of all start by taking a quiz. So if you've never heard about the five love languages before, you don't know what your love language is, or what your top love languages are, because you could possibly you could have more than one. So you can go on to www.5, as in the number 5, lovelanguages.com, and take the quiz, and encourage your partner to do the same, because then you're both working on the same page. So once you've taken the quiz, identify your top 3 love languages and that of your partner, and make every effort to speak their love languages regularly. You can also sometimes speak the love language, the latter two, but focus on the top three, and see how you get on. Just observe your relationship, see what growth takes place, if there's any impact, because there should be, once you're both aware of each other's love languages. Then next, check in with each other at least once a month to ascertain whether you are speaking the love language of your partner effectively, and provide them with feedback from your perspective as well. The more practice you put in, the more fluent you'll become at speaking the love language of your partner. So, like they say, practice makes perfect. So the more you do it, it will just come more easily to you, and it won't feel mechanical anymore. It'll become more natural, and you become more fluent at speaking their love language. Having said all of that, it is important to note that your love languages might evolve as you evolve as a person. So, for instance, when you're dating, your love language, your top two perhaps could be physical touch and quality time, perhaps. But then after you get married and have kids, your love language could then change and perhaps become acts of service and words of affirmation. So you might be very busy looking after the kids, and you need assistance around the house, so you feel more loved when your partner helps out around the house. And you also want to feel appreciated, so when they provide you with words of affirmation to express their gratitude for your contribution, you feel more loved as well. So it's important to know that as you evolve, your love language will also evolve. So it's important that you stay connected to each other. And perhaps if you feel during the course of the relationship, perhaps your partner has learned your love language, but then your lives change, perhaps as a new baby introduces to the picture, and you find you're not feeling as loved, then a good place to start would be to take the quiz again, and you might see that your responses are different, and that perhaps your love languages have changed. Once you notice that, go ahead and communicate that to your partner so that they can love you the way that you require within the relationship. Okay? And the final step I would suggest is share the information you've learned with a friend. If it's worked for you, you never know, it might also work out for them. Okay? So sharing is caring. So recommend it to a friend. If you've practiced it and you find that it's worked really well for you, go ahead and recommend it to a friend. Okay? So those are my tips today as it relates to the 5 love languages. Until next time, do stay safe. Take it easy. Have a great day. Bye.